And welcome back to the Noah Boys Nice Football Podcast. Ryan, say what's up to the people.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. Yeah, I'm glad to be back. Took a week off last week. Wish we could be more consistent for you guys. Really do. Life gets in the way. Stuff happens. But here we are for another day. We're doing more rankings today, so we're going to go through some of the tight ends, which I'm happy to say is in a better spot nowadays. Big emphasis on some of these young guys during this podcast, I'm sure. And we're just going to kind of start just going down the list. We're going to pluck them one by one, kind of like an auction league, and go down the line like that, debate on who we got and what's here.
Yeah, the tight ends, the landscape in general has changed for a better word, like a lack of better word. It's in a good spot. It's in a great spot. Like a lot of people are afraid to change. I'm sorry, I was looking for my words, but no longer am I scared of this position. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of young kids that are coming in, changing the landscape. We got another one in 2024. We got two that I'm ecstatic about in 2024. But yeah, it's a good position to have, man. A lot of guys you could have got late too in these drafts.
Yeah, that's a good kind of what we were talking about before the podcast is like, especially redraft, but Dynasty too. Just kind of see how the landscape falls in drafts for tight ends now. Like, are we still going to see these top three go and then nobody else follow? Or are they going to kind of turn to like a quarterback situation where like you can wait because you know you're going to get a good one on your roster at this point?
I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be fun. Let's bring it up. Here we go, boys. As you see the categories, elite, A, B, C, D, unproven. Very fair when it comes to ranking these tight ends. Very fair. If you're joining us, remember this. Always feel free to interact with us. Always feel free to jump into the conversation. I think the landscape has changed so much for this position. This is Dynasty, but I'm willing to talk any player at any given point in time. Like I said, just feel free to jump on in. Ryan, you are up, my friend.
All right, so I think it would start out with an interesting one, at least in my eyes, especially because we've seen him up and down his whole career. Can we start with Evan Ingram?
Sure.
Former Giant. What are the thoughts on Evan Ingram? Like, where are you at with him?
I have Evan Ingram solely inside my top 8. I have no problem saying that. I think with the consistency that he's shown from last year and this year, he's a consistent target in this offense. It's not going to be great. It's not going to be those league-winning weeks where Sam LaPorta just had 9 for 140 and a touchdown. But at the end of the day, I think you can count on consistent looks for Evan Ingram. I think you can set on consistent catches, a yardage amount, and a possibly score. He had his first score last week in the season. I think he's played his best football in his stretch of his career. I don't think you're going to see that first year as a Giant that, we saw with the possibility of being a breakout elite tight end, but I think he's consistent. And in this position, consistency is key.
Yeah, I kind of have him. I don't know where we're at with it, but I kind of tend to put him towards that, like you said, your top 8, put him in the A tier. I mean, if you look at the numbers, Sam, has more catches and more targets than Sam LaPorta. It's just like the touchdowns aren't there for him. You guys got his first one this week, so just an interesting guy. He's been very, very. He's been. How do I say it? Trevor Lawrence has been a big fan of his since he joined the Jags last year.
Sure, he's an elite talent. He always was an elite talent. I have him teetering between A and B, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would start B, and then we can move him up as the conversations go.
Okay. I'm curious to see how it plays out if we have Ingram and B tier.
Just want to start it out here because I don't think there's many elite guys like you want to say.
No, he's not elite.
Who do I want? Oh, yeah. I'm talking my guy here, guys. Sorry. This isn't even this is my guy, man. Mark Andrews.
They just auto place him.
Yeah, I'm just gonna auto place him here in the elite tier. Yeah, we're talking about a fractured fibula. Yes, no question. Tough injury. Talking about possibility of playing in the playoffs. I don't see it, but that's just me. Remember, I don't start discounting the tight end position until 30 years old. Mark Andrews is 27 years old, guys. Have we seen the best of Mark Andrews? Sure. We've seen the 2019 Lamar season that benefited Mark Andrews huge.
Yeah.
But we're still talking about a tight end one who is the Ravens' number one option when it comes to the receiving game. 1A to Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers has showed an improvement and has shown a usage in this offense. No doubt about it. But Mark Andrews is as consistent as it gets. He's one of the top 3 elite options every single year. He was my tight end one before the season started. I still have him solely inside the top 3. I think it's a pretty easy conversation, and he's the tight end that I want to own. I own him in a lot of leagues.
Oh, I know. Trust me. You own a lot of Mark Andrews. Big Mandrews fan over here. But yeah, I mean, I have no problem with elite, but man, he's getting dinged and left and right too. Like, I don't know. He just can't stay healthy. But I mean, if he's on the field, that's definitely Lamar's guy. I mean, you mentioned Zay Flowers, but even with Zay Flowers there, he's still that guy for Lamar.
I mean, before this year, lowest amount of games played was 14 games.
Fair.
George Kittle, more missed games than Mark Andrews.
Oh, no doubt. I don't doubt that.
You know what I mean? So we're talking about model consistency. I can't talk about a Travis Kelce-esque type person. Like
Right.
Kelce has missed, 1 game or 3 games over the last fucking 8 years. I can't say that about Mark, but Mark's always on the field as well.
Yeah, I got no problem with him in elite, though. Trust me. It's definitely that top 3. Who do you want to look at?
It's who do you want to look at?
I know, that's what I'm saying. Excuse me. Who do I want to look at? There's a lot of people still here. I kind of want to pluck someone weird, but I don't know if I'm ready for that just yet. You know what? Let's ride. Let's just get – I'm just going to knock out all of my fandom here. Let's go Logan Thomas out of Virginia Tech. Commanders tight end. I don't really have a lot to say about him other than he's been weirdly consistent in the last 2 years, even though he still has his up and down games like any other tight end. But it's been so interesting to see him turn from quarterback to tight end and like be semi-successful with it, given he's not like gonna blow the top off your team. But the fact that you could start him if you needed to, it's kind of wild to me.
So where do you have him at? C?
We can even C. I wouldn't be opposed to moving him down to D depending on how it goes. But for C, C's okay for now.
I want to talk about a guy that I had pegged as a breakout. Still very young. He's 4 years in the NFL, and he's only 24 years old. I have him in B tier here. Cole Kmet.
I like that rating.
Yeah. So we've seen the highest target volume that Cole Kmet's ever had in 2021. 93 targets, didn't turn into a whole lot of red zone dependency type of things that we were talking about. But this year, or 2022, 7 touchdowns, tight end 7. Right now he's at tight end 6 with 6 touchdowns, I believe. 5, excuse me. But we've also seen him on pace, for the highest target share he's ever had.
Yeah.
I think he's playing his best ball at this current moment. He's missed a lot of time with Justin Fields' thumb injury. At that point, that slowed him down a little bit in the year. But at that point, he was averaging over 6.5 targets a game. 6.5 targets for a tight end of like Cole Kmet's size, athletic ability, things like that just stands out to me in this offense. I do expect them to add more pass catchers, so we never know what the landscape holds. But for right now, I think Cole Kmet is a solid tight end you could build around and feel comfortable with.
I wouldn't say comfortable just yet. I still do think he's a little bit touchdown dependent. His yardage is still pretty low despite 56 catches. He's only averaging 8.6 yards per catch. So he's definitely just a dink and dunk guy. So he's still got that dependency, 5 touchdowns, second in the league, tied for second most out of the tight end position. But, I mean, we take that. I got no problem with B. I mean, he's definitely a guy I could start, but I wouldn't want to, have him as my staple. Steven.
What's up, buddy? You're on the board, bro.
Oh, you just did. You just picked. Dang. All right. My bad.
Are you all right, man?
I'm good. I'm good. My bad. All right. Let's have a conversation. You put Mark Andrews up there. I'll take probably my Dynasty tight end one. Probably has been for a little bit there since the breakout. Sam LaPorta.
Fair enough.
Okay. You want to put him in A? That's crazy. Now
Bro,
we'll keep
the screen isn't big enough for me to move it in one click.
It's not?
No.
Looks pretty seamless on stream. But yeah, no, like the usage, he's that guy. I mean, probably number 2 target behind Amonra, and that's saying something with his workload. And you still have LaPorta out here busting out 20-point games here and there. Is the consistency there yet? Not really, but like that's kind of how the tight end landscape goes. Steven kind of alluded to it with like it's kind of like having a good fantasy baseball catcher on your team. They just bring that pop to your team. And I love LaPorta. I love what I'm seeing. He's going to stay heavily involved in this offense. The line's going to keep this thing rolling. I like Sam LaPorta a lot going forward.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be honest with yourself. We've seen his best game this week in his rookie season. I mean, 9 for 140 on a 9 for 9 line. 9 for 9 line with 140 and a touchdown. Heavy involvement in an elite offense. I mean, let's be honest here. We're talking about a top five offensive line. We're talking about a top 5 wide receiver. We're talking about a top 5 running back duo. I mean, this Lions offense is unstoppable. The only game where I can just consistently say that they struggled was the Ravens game. But that's about it. That's the only game that I can pinpoint. I mean, the Packers was a relatively Jared Goff type struggle game. But at the end of the day, I mean, everybody in this offense is getting their share of the pie. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. We've now seen Jameson Williams scoring 2 straight weeks as well. But LaPorta being a consistent target. I mean, he's got 86 targets on the year.
Yeah.
Everybody in this offense is getting their piece of the pie. We all had LaPorta as a huge tight end coming into the season. He wasn't the tight end 1 consensus, but he's there now in this class. He's playing extremely well. No questions about it here. No questions about it.
That's my boy. I'm excited to hear a lot more of him.
He's good. I'm taking mine. I'm taking my rookie tight end one. The one that I had pegged for it. I'm taking Dalton Kincaid. Kincaid was a rough start, let's be honest. It wasn't until probably a few weeks ago where Kincaid really blossomed into what I think he could be. But from week 7 on, 8, 7, 11, 6, 7, 6 targets stands out. 2 touchdowns in that stretch, 3 games over 60 yards or more, 3 games with 6 or more catches. Dalton Kincaid is here, boys. Kincaid's here. He's a huge pivotal part of this offense. Oh, excuse me. Where I don't know how much longer Stephon Diggs is here to be the number 1 option of Josh Allen. Something seems off, to be honest with you. I don't know what it is. This Buffalo Bills team isn't clicking in the aspect that I thought they would.
Absolutely
not sure how long Diggs is a staple in this offense for Josh Allen. But I do know one thing. Kincaid is here on a first-round rookie deal contract. Kincaid is here for the long haul. And I want every bit of Dalton Kincaid.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, since his breakout game was at like week 5, he started breaking out finally.
Week 7.
Week 7, excuse me. But yeah, since then, no less than 6 targets in every game. Love to see that. Like I said, they trade up to get him. Yeah, sure, it's a rough start. But I mean, they're using him now. Like they planned to when they traded up for him.
Yeah.
My only thing is, do we feel comfortable with an elite tier already with Kincaid?
Yep.
Okay. I'll stay with
Dalton Kincaid's a top 5 dynasty tight end.
Fair.
I'll be honest.
You allude to the Stephon Diggs thing. Diggs could be as gone soon as this offseason, he could be gone.
I mean, it speaks volumes too that, like, you know, I mean, look at the pedigree that comes with it too. Look at the first round rookie pick. Look at the college production. Look at the athletic profile. Right. It all screams breakout type guy. Dalton Kincaid, like, when I watch him play, man, he has a mix of like a Travis Kelce mixed with like an Antonio Gates type mold. You know what I mean? And that's who I saw when I broke down his tape. A guy who's not afraid to stretch it with the seams, and he just knows how to find the soft spots in the defense. He just sits down, and then he breaks, and then they're on some plays he just explodes down the seam, man. I love Dalton Kincaid. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of how crisp and how mature his route running is. I have no problem. If your tight end one is Dalton Kincaid, you're fine. You're good.
And Dynasty standpoint, hell yeah. So I was gonna wait, see how long it took for you to take them. But let's get the viewers a little bit of some spicy shit going on. Let's talk about Kyle Pitts, who at one point was everyone's Dynasty tight end one.
There you go.
Everyone's since he got drafted. His rookie year, he did fine. We saw what we wanted to saw, but since then, what's going on? I mean, early in the season, you had Jonnu Smith out targeting him. It's still close even now. Well, no, he's gone by 20. It's not close anymore.
Last week,
unproven.
Last week, Mike
Smith.
Pruitt scored a tight end touchdown for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
Not Jonnu Smith, not Kyle Pitts. All right, I mean, if you want me to be realistically harsh, he deserves to be in B, but from the production, he's in C. I'll put him in B, but that's just where he.
Well, my thing with him, he's just still so young.
Okay.
It takes a while for some of these tight ends to get going.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of it has to do with Arthur Smith, but I mean, I'm okay with him in B right now too. I don't think he belongs in C yet because I
think it's cool. I mean, yeah, no question. I mean, he was the first rookie since Mike Ditka to have 1,000 yards receiving his rookie year. Is mostly his scheme, or is mostly his downfall due to Arthur Smith's type role scheme? Sure, no question. But at the end of the day, if he's not going to get off this roster, who am I to own him at this point for the price that people paid to acquire Kyle Pitts?
True.
Kyle Pitts, when he first came in the league, was a game changer tight end that was going ahead of Jamar Chase in certain rookie drafts. I've seen Kyle Pitts be drafted over Jamar Chase. We are now way past that point. Past that.
Yeah, just so people don't think we're crazy. I'm sure he's talking about tight end premium leagues.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate that we've come this far with Kyle Pitts. I loved him at Florida. Everybody loved him. Unfortunately, if Arthur Smith is your coach, he's going to bury you as a skill position player. It is what it is.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, man.
Yeah. Sad story Kyle Pitts is. I don't love the whole thing. I wish he would have been good. I love what I saw out of Florida. Just an athletic freak. Just can't get anyone in the league.
I'm gonna knock a couple of these guys out here just because obviously we don't need to talk about everybody, but I'm just gonna throw him there. If you want to pick out a couple of these, then throw them in there.
Yeah, can we just throw Tyler Conklin down there too?
Sure.
Keep going down the line. You got Mo Alley Cox in there.
I followed up with Durham Smythe here.
Durham Smythe. Give me Mo Alley Cox.
All right. I'll throw in Austin Hooper.
just gonna sit here and roast guys.
Yeah. Unfortunately, due to age, nothing against Zach Ertz, a great career, but at this point in your career, buddy, this is where you got to go for me.
Hey man, it's my turn, man. Come on.
Sorry, take two.
Give me Hayden Hurst.
Where's Hayden? There he is.
Giant man with a beard. Keep looking at his stupid face.
I'll put Hunter Henry there.
Ooh, okay. I'm not mad at it.
Take one more and we'll keep riding.
Is there one more? These faces are so small. I can't even tell who half of them are. This boy
There's
got a
just
long neck. Is that
There's
Dalton
just
Schultz?
right here.
Oh, that's Dalton Schultz. This is the guy all the way down on the right.
Tyler Higbee.
No. All the way over, up the top row, all the way to the right.
That's Jake Ferguson.
Jake Ferguson. I can see it now. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry. The faces are like this big on my screen. You got anybody else you want to put on here?
Yeah, I want to put Chig right here, unproven.
Chig? Okay. I mean, that's a conversation point, though. I mean, usage is definitely not there.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So I think he's too young into his career to gauge a specific standpoint, especially in the last 7 games of last year. We saw a huge breakout from Chig that led to the conversation that he could be a breakout tight end in today's market. Unfortunately, DeAndre Hopkins came there in a not very good passing scheme. They haven't been a good passing scheme since Mike Vrabel took over. Yeah, Ryan Tannehill's had QB1 seasons, but that was mainly due to his legs on top of what he offered as a passer. So I haven't really gauged Chig yet. So I want to put him there. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I mean, like you said, we saw flashes last year. DeAndre Hopkins, he was supposed to break. Everybody pegged him as a breakout until Hopkins came to town, and after that, it's kind of all over.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with him at unproven. There's a few more studs here.
Yeah.
You want to take looks like we're at about halftime here since we just ran through the whole D tier. I mean, there's not really a lot to say about any of the guys, just other than like you really don't want them. But let's do Darren Waller. Giants tight end. Can't stay healthy.
Do you want me to place him based off his talent or based off his evaluation as a player overall?
Oh, we're talking fantasy football, buddy. So if he ain't producing in fantasy, that's how we're ranking him.
There he is.
He's so close to D.
Hey, man, if you're not going to play, what do you want me to do? You said your best availability is availability. He hasn't been available in 3 years, bro.
No, I mean, you're right. That's why I say he's debatable for D. I mean, given the talent's there when he's on the field, I'm sure he's productive. But like,
yeah, listen,
I hate.
This is not a Darren Waller hate show. I mean, at one point 3 years ago, Darren Waller was talked about as a top 3 dynasty tight end, an elite productive, and second end of his career in Oakland. He got his chance after he got caught with drugs and went through his rehab. Great story, great player, elite athletic profile, balled out with Derek Carr, balled out. But we're not at that point no more. You have to be realistic. How do you treat a 31-year-old tight end who doesn't play more than 10 games a year? Be realistic.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
On top of that, Darren Waller and Daniel Jones were supposed to click, and they're supposed to be a big, duo.
They didn't look bad, though.
They did, and Daniel Jones just wasn't it this year, so it hurts.
All right, man. It's time to piss off the fantasy community.
Oh, man. I was waiting for it, man.
Travis Kelce, A tier.
I mean, here's the thing. It's like, how can you have him in the elite tier and in a dynasty show? I get this is that'll be fucking madness in redraft. But it's like, what is he, 34 now?
Yep.
Heavily talking about retirement. People say, it's his productions because of Taylor Swift, blah, 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 blah. Does the fantasy community ever think that maybe he's just getting old? Like maybe this is just him slowly going in to his retirement?
Listen, Father Time is a son of a bitch, man.
Yeah. Takes them all, man.
Listen, we're talking about before this season, we're talking about 7 straight years as a top tier dynasty tight end, guys. I mean, what Travis Kelce has done might not ever be done again. Seriously. He is, in the fantasy world, the ultimate cheat code of the position.
Yeah.
A mix with health, a mix with ability to just click with his QB, a mix to be schemed as a number 1 option, at all times. I mean, the dude consistently was averaging over 120, 130 targets every single season with Tyreek Hill on the same field.
Yep.
He just knew what to do. He knew how to find the soft spot in zones. He knew how to sit down, catch the ball, turn a solid route runner who could just find it on the field. He was a mismatch everywhere he was. But at this point, I mean, we're in the 34-year-old season of Travis Kelce. We've seen the lowest yards per catch, yards per target since his rookie season.
Yeah.
A lot of things going on in his life outside of the NFL. I'll be honest with you, man. He's still going to finish as a top tier dynasty tight end this year, or overall redraft tight end this year.
Yeah.
This might be it for Kelce. Now, I'm not saying he can't produce next year at 35, but I'm saying this: you're seeing the decline. Here it is.
Mm-hmm.
This Chiefs offense has declined. This Chiefs offense. I mean, they've lost 3 of their last 5 games.
Tough.
They're not playing good football on the offensive side of the ball. Their defense has saved them. They have a top 5 defense. This is the best defense Pat Mahomes has ever played with this season. That is why they're winning.
He's Tom Brady era right now.
Yeah. Him and Isaiah Pacheco. Isaiah Pacheco is balling.
Yeah, Pacheco's love him. Big fan of what I'm saying. He's such an angry runner, but I don't want to get too much into him. But
I'm just saying,
yeah, I mean, it's gonna piss a lot of people off to have Kelce in A, but like it's kind of where it's at, especially with him even speaking on retirement whatsoever is scary for anything. Anything to do with Dynasty. All right, let's talk your boy Pat Freiermuth.
Okay.
Kind of have a feeling you prefer to put him in that cute little A spot up there, which wouldn't be the maddest about. He's played 7 games only 7 games this year. Spent a little time off the field. Target monster last year. I like what I see out of him. I think solely, I just think Kenny Pickett's holding it back. With this whole offense in general, whatever it is.
I have him teetering between A and B. Granted, missed a lot of games. It's hard to base off like his touchdown usage off of Big Ben's last season. He was a monster in the red zone for Ben in 2021. 2022 came in with his highest yards per catch average, yards per target average ever in his career so far. Highest target volume. And then I saw the game 2 weeks ago where he went for 8 catches, 132 yards, and a touchdown. I've seen the breakout from Freiermuth. I've seen him show flashes of what I think he can be. Tight end 2 or tight end 8, in 2022. Obviously, injuries held him back this year. Draft capital alone, too, as well. I think he deserves to be an A, but I do teeter him in B as well. I do prefer Freiermuth over Evan Ingram and Kyle Pitts and Cole Kmet.
A's fair. I think we need to fill that category up. We're not going to have a whole lot there. My next guy that I was going to bring up is actually who I was going to start out. I thought I was going to go on a run for the A tier, but you're up next anyway, so it doesn't make a difference.
Well, I'm looking at this list here, and I'm going to be honest with you. There's a tight end I'm extremely excited about.
Okay.
My baby boy Trey.
Trey, baby.
Baby boy Trey.
That boy is on fire.
He's on fire.
He's on fire.
Oh, man.
Hurts getting hurt changed everything for him.
Yeah. Since week 8, he's got 5 weeks of being a tight end 1. I mean, look at the volume, dude. 14, 5, 9, 7, 9, 9. 2 touchdowns in that span. 130-yard game, 95-yard game, 90-yard game. Look at the snap percentages, man. 82, 69, 77, 186, 96. Everything you want to see. Second-round pick last year. Elite college profile, athletic ability, thing like that. Right now, I thought it was going to be Hollywood when he came back, was going to stand out as the number 1 option again for Kyler Murray, kind of like he has his whole career with Kyler.
Right.
But it's not. It's Trey McBride.
It's definitely McBride.
I think he's the most important piece in this offense right now. Obviously, we have the draft to go, but Trey McBride is a pivotal piece in this offense. He's going to be for a long time. I'm a big fan, man. Huge fan.
Yeah, what I've seen from him, you can't deny it anymore. I mean, he was supposed to be. Everybody had him pegged for a breakout. I mean, like you said, we kind of touched on it before. Like tight ends just need that opportunity. He got his when Ertz went down. He proved himself. Now he's got this job, and Kyler just keeps looking his way. I don't know if it's in the coaching scheme because he kind of did the same thing with Dobbs when Dobbs was the quarterback. But yeah, I mean, they're just keeping it rolling with McBride.
It was always there. It was always supposed to be McBride. You know that.
Yeah, I mean,
McBride
you're
was
right.
a tight end one of
Everybody
that
knew
class.
when. Yeah, everybody knew when. Ertz,
Yeah, he had to just wait his turn, bro.
Yeah. But he's here, and he's real, and he's what everybody wanted him to be. Maybe a little bit more, to be honest. Got to remember a couple years ago, we were drafting these guys to just be a maybe.
Yeah.
Now the position's kind of ballooned.
And you're on the clock, buddy.
Oh shit! I'm on the clock, baby. Is that Irv Smith I'm seeing?
Yeah.
Can we put him in D?
Sure.
All right. Now we can move on to the actual. That's just who. All right. So let me just speak here, and you can go against me. But I was going to kind of start filling up that A tier. He kind of tiers on A to B for me, but I lean A. Jake Ferguson.
I have him in B, but I actually really like Jake Ferguson.
I like Jake Ferguson. I like what I've seen. Big this year. Like I said, that's 5 touchdowns. I like that second in tight ends. Dak likes to look at him here and there, and I think as long as they don't get somebody in his place, which I don't think they do. I mean, he's in the elite offense for as long as Dak's there. Dak's on fire. He looks like he's all the way back.
Agreed. See, the thing is like we talk about the Luke Schoonmaker draft pick. It was always Jake Ferguson to me. Jake stepped in very well last year when Dalton Schultz was hurt. Now we see the blossom. I mean, granted, we're at 500 total yards, but the thing is like, look at the yards per target, look at the yards per catch, 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's only at what? At 66 targets. Obviously working alongside CeeDee Lamb, Tony Pollard out of the backfield, Brandon Cooks, Michael Gallup. It's a huge loaded room. It's a loaded room. But he stood out. He has stood out as a guy that I think if you had him drafted this year in like the 12th, 13th, maybe 14th round, depending on where you got him, he's a huge steal.
He's helping you out.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I'm willing. He's a B. He's in my B tier for me, to be honest.
I'm not mad about it, but can we put him in the 1 spot in the B tier?
Oh my god! There you go, buddy.
Thank you. I love Jake Ferguson.
I'm gonna go ahead and do this as well. I do think he deserves to be here. I've seen some things from K. Dot and I've seen some flashes, but we're still pretty young in his career. I'm just gonna go ahead and put him here if you feel okay with that.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just going to knock out one more thing here. At this point, anybody on the Patriots offense, sorry, buddy.
Yeah, that seems fair. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, I like Gesicki too. We are Penn State, baby. Well.
That D tier is filling up. For a podcast that we pitch is like, oh, these tight ends are like here again. We still only got
at these options that we had.
We got 10 guys. Rookie, 10 guys.
Look, rookie, second-year guy, third-year guy with potential, unproven second-year guy. There's a lot about the tight end landscape. You got to remember this. Dawson Knox, older. Tyler Conklin, older. Durham Smythe, older. Mo Alley Cox, older. Austin Hooper, older. Hayden Hurst, older. Ertz, at the end of his career. Hunter Henry, drafted in 2015. Irv Smith, can't stay on the field.
Nope.
Mike. Patriots.
I think it's 6 or 7 guys. 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 No, I
A
say
lot of
that
people,
we're missing some guys in the elite and A tier that we still haven't touched
yeah,
on.
a lot of people are talking about this guy as like a dynasty sell, but at the landscape, man, let's ride. Georgie.
I love George. I
Georgie.
love George. You ask me, I put him in elite. I'm a big Kittle man.
If I can't put Travis in that tier, I can't put him.
There's a 4 or 5 year gap there, but okay.
But we're also talking about a guy. You talk about probably the most games missed out of the elite and A tier in the last 5 years as well.
Yeah, true.
But you know what? I'm gonna do it because I like the gap. He is gonna go here. Okay. I'm gonna tell you why. I like the gap between watching him play with Trey Lance and watching him play with Brock Purdy last year. Last year, the touchdown totals for George Kittle were off the charts. The target splits between Trey Lance and the first 2 games. Obviously, we know Trey Lance got hurt very early last year. Brock Purdy came in. George Kittle was his guy. This offense is really loaded. We all know that. A lot of mouths to feed between Debo, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and Christian McCaffrey. We get it. But at the same time, he's still on pace to have more targets than last year. He's already topped his receiving, or he's close. He's got 30 more yards, so he tops his receiving total. Touchdowns are, they're very spotty, very iffy, but he's averaging 14.7 yards per catch, and that's the second highest since 2018.
Yeah,
I'll give it to you. George Kittle's playing his ass off.
he's got
the only thing. Me and you talk about it, and it doesn't hurt him from a real football standpoint. He plays so many snaps on the line of scrimmage that sometimes it hurts him in games.
Yeah.
He's one of the best blockers in the NFL for the position. Sometimes that hurts him when it comes to his fantasy production, but he's a beast, man. He's an absolute beast.
Yeah, he's a fucking dog. You touched on it. It's 14.7. That leads tight ends to have over 20 catches. He's older. Yeah, he's getting older, but he's still explosive. He's on a great offense. He's getting older. Have those games where I've deemed him nicknamed Cardio Kittle when he has his blocking games, because half the time we'll just be blocking, running around like a madman out there. Yeah, I mean, that definitely gets in the way sometimes, but more often than not, especially this year, he's gotten more receiving than he has. I mean, last year was kind of rough. The touchdowns were very dependent last year. This year, you don't really need the touchdown anymore. I'm glad to see him in this offense. I love Kittle. Tight end you, baby.
Tight end you, baby. You're on the board, baby boy.
Man, I didn't get to pick my boy. All right, let's get. All right. Let me look at these beautiful faces down here. Let's talk a tight end that kind of lingers around for me. It's like right on the edge of being rostered and not being rostered in most fantasy leagues, in Tyler Higbee, who's like a guy that stuck around in the league for a while. He's been semi-consistent. Can't string any games together though. What do we have a guy like him sitting at in this ranking?
I'll be honest with you. I'll take him over everybody we have in the D tier. I think Tyler Higbee.
I agree with that.
I think Tyler Higbee has had multiple years of finishes as a tight end one. Where he's at in his age and where he is pertinent to his offense and where I feel comfortable about the Rams, I think he belongs in C.
Yeah, I'm with C too. He's right on the edge for D. He's kind of close, but still got the Rams. Still got Matt Stafford.
I'll be honest with you, man. This will be the first year the Rams had a first-round draft pick since I can't tell you when the last time they were.
The year before Goff, whatever that was.
Goff was 26-17.
Yeah, so they haven't had a pick since then, because that's when they sold other picks, or started at least.
Well, so that's my thing here. I mean, the Rams, the thing is, man, is like the key pieces that where they have built at are aging out pretty quick.
Feels bad for Cooper Kupp.
And the same with Higbee. I mean, he's at 30 years old now.
Yeah.
He's a young 30. At the end of the day, like he doesn't. I wouldn't have thought he was 30 years old. But
No.
this offense is this is Kyron Williams and Puka Nakua's offense for the future. This is what it is. And honestly, I think Tyler Higbee is just a bench filler.
True.
So,
yeah, that's kind of what I touched on. I mean, he's not even owned in some of my leagues in redraft. Dynasty for sure he's owned, but
yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and do this too. Have only seen him very limited in his time out of UCLA. I'm just gonna knock out one more.
Yeah, can you put Michael Mayer down there too? Unproven. I feel like he deserves that title.
Sure.
Hasn't really seen much usage just yet, but
yeah,
give him time.
All right, I want to put. All right, Dallas Goedert in the A tier.
Goedert.
My boy Dallas. A lot of people hated Dallas. I'm a big Dallas Goedert fan, to be honest. He's a huge vital part of this offense. People don't realize it, but a lot of people, like when you talk about Dallas Goedert, there was a transition of QBs. He went from Wentz to Jalen Hurts, so it was a weird time for him. He's got 2 years of tight end 1 finishes, but at the same time, he's also in the offense battling for targets with AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. He's one of the most explosive. He's one of the most explosive tight ends in the league. I mean, you're talking about the consistency of averaging over 10 yards a catch. This is this guy. 2022, 2021 really stand out to me as well with over 12, almost 13 and 14. The target, the thing is like the yardage is going to be spotty depending on how explosive he is and how much he stays on the field. But it's the target volume. If he were in an offense like a Mark Andrews type offense, we're talking about him as in an elite tier. He's an elite playmaker. He always has been. He's just battling with elite options on the outside as well. And at first, when Jalen Hurts came in the transition, it wasn't really a pass-first team. But we've seen Jalen Hurts pass more, so I'm hoping for the volume to increase for Dallas Goedert. But he belongs in A.
Yeah, he's definitely belongs in A. Last 2 years, he's had like great target volume. Kind of like how we're seeing out of Evan Ingram, honestly, is like definitely using that offense, not getting any of the touchdowns solely because of that damn tush push. That's been killing him. It has, because you get in that red zone and he's all Jalen Hurts wants to do is get on the one and push it in, and it makes sense. It works, but as far as the fantasy standpoint, that kills Goedert, and I think he's someone that, if used correctly, could end up in that elite tier one day.
Agreed. I'm a big Dallas Goedert fan.
Yeah, but until tush push gets banned, and I'm sure even if it gets banned, he's probably still just going to QB sneak. So it hurts, but I love Dallas Goedert. I was all the way out until what I saw last year, and now I'm in.
And you're on the clock, buddy.
All right. We got one more guy on the elite tier sitting down here. Let's just go ahead and knock out TJ Hockenson. Let's just get him there. I mean, but I believe, I could be wrong, he's the tight end 1 or tight end 2 this year.
1.
Tight end 1. Yeah, I mean, 108 targets, leads all tight ends. Been used all game, every game since going to the Vikings. You saw a lot of that connection with Kirk Cousins. It worked out. That's nice. Now Kirk Cousins goes down, definitely hurts, but we're talking long term here in Dynasty, and Hockenson's locked into this Vikings offense. He'll be the 2/3, I guess, 2A, 2B with Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson in a pass heavy team. So give me all of Hockenson going forward. I love what I've seen.
Expensive price. Very expensive. So his Iowa teammate, at this point, sorry, bro. Both first-round picks. Haven't been excited about Noah Fant. Yeah, back in his Denver days, he had 2 top 12 finishes, but at this point, we've just seen progressively worse. He's not
Right.
heavily involved in this offense. Seattle with DK, Lockett, and Jigba, Walker, Charbonnet. Where does he fall in the pecking order? It's not something I'm excited about. At this point, Noah Fan hasn't showed me anything to be excited about. So,
Yep.
but I'm gonna get my real one in here. Actually,
Or just want to knock out one more D tier real quick?
I want David Njoku. I think he belongs in B tier. I think that's specifically a good spot for him. Showed me a lot with the
Right on that edge for me.
I mean, how can you be mad about David Njoku here? He hasn't shown you a top 10 finish since 2018, but we're talking about, last year 80 targets. This year we're already at 84 targets. The volume is there for Njoku. He was an elite athlete out of Miami. The production hasn't stuck to be what we thought it was going to be. But I think he's warranted enough to be ahead of Tyler Higbee and Waller and Logan Thomas.
Got it. Yeah, no problem with that. Yeah, I don't know. He definitely deserves to be there, but I still haven't seen anything that's like, wow, he's that guy. But I mean, he's been fairly consistent throughout the years. Let's knock out somebody who's like, I want to put him in D. I'd rather put him in C or unproven. But we're going to talk this out with you, Juwan Johnson, who showed flashes last year. Kind of what we expected to see out of Chig. The breakout titans were supposed to be Chig and Juwan Johnson in the offseason. The usage isn't what we thought it was going to be. I hate to see it because I was such a big fan. I like seeing him out there. He's a big change in that offense that helped the Saints out down the season last year. But like I said, he's not being used this year. It's
unfortunately, man. Taysom Hill's taking on, and Taysom Hill's not pictured here.
I was just about to start talking about Taysom Hill. It's like Taysom's there.
Yeah, so Taysom's got a nice little solidified role, whether it be throwing a couple passes here and there, catching a couple targets in the red zone, a couple carries out of the QB spot in the red zone. It's hard to put a 27-year-old player in unproven. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's fair. That's fair.
What I will say, talent perspective, I do think that he's more talented than most of these guys here, except for Irv Smith. He's the most talented D-tier player I've ever seen in my life. Dude, he's so good. He was so good at Alabama, man. So good.
No, he was.
Be honest with you, I think Juwan goes in D-tier, man.
Tough for me. I was such a believer.
I am going to put Luke here, though. I do think Luke deserves to be here. Just right now. He is banged up on the IR right now. I do think he deserves to be here.
Yeah, that's fine. Definitely. I mean, I feel like most rookies, with the exception of LaPorta, probably deserve to be down there. And Kincaid. I apologize.
I'm going to put...
I was going to say Gerald Everett, but...
I'm going to put Dalton Schultz in B.
I got no problem with that, especially with CJ Stroud in this offense. Kind of look at this like safety blanket type guy.
Yeah. Anytime
I think anybody in that offense, to be honest.
Anytime I get a chance to apologize to CJ Stroud, I do.
Yeah.
So the last 3 years, tight end 3, tight end 12, tight end 11 on this stretch. Dalton Schultz isn't like one of those sneaky athletes where like we're talking about his athletic profile, things like that. He's just a guy like Zach Ertz, knows how to get open, knows, he's a savvy player. He's a very savvy guy. He's not a great blocker, so he's really not on the line of scrimmage a whole lot. He just understands how to find his spots. And he's scoring on a pace that actually sets like that he could beat his 2021 season with Dak. I don't think he'll ever see 800 yards like that. That was a great season from Dalton Schultz. But he's consistent. You know what I mean? And I'm excited to see the role he plays now that Tank Dell is going to miss the rest of the season. And CJ Stroud, one less weapon at his disposal, probably be between Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz. I'm very excited. He's only 27. We're not at a pivotal point when it comes to his age.
I'm not worried about it.
I don't think he'll move up to A for me ever, but B solid.
Definitely B solid. Solid B. Yeah, dude. Jesus Lord. This podcast cannot apologize enough to CJ Stroud because now just give me every piece of that Texans offense.
True.
And we got last, I guess, but maybe least Gerald Everett. Who's right on that edge for C and D for me. It's the only reason why I haven't plucked him off. He's a starting tight end, but like he's hardly ever used. I mean, debate me. He could be in D too. We have 3 guys in C, so I mean, I'm okay with Gerald Everett. I don't really have a lot to say about him. That's why he's kind of just sitting there for me. I haven't plucked him off. He doesn't do anything for me fantasy wise.
See, if I was talking about last year after almost 90 targets, I would have put him in C. I'm going to still put him in C just because I like who he's linked to as an offense.
Yeah.
I like Kellen Moore here, especially with his usage of the tight ends. Obviously hasn't shown with Gerald Everett. But, I mean, he's just been consistent. It's not great. It's consistent. 15, 14, 20, 22, 23. I mean, it's not great. He's average. He's what he is. He's a bench fill-in.
Yeah, that's for sure. Definitely a bench fill-in.
But can I say something here, please, before we finish this podcast? Over the last 3 years, I mean, tight end 18, 17, and 19. Me personally, I want to move Tyler Conklin to C.
Okay, that's fine. I don't love it, but I'm not too mad about it. We put him there early D, so before I saw some of the other guys,
right? And maybe I do like going back and just looking at the board here. I know it hasn't been pretty here recently, but I mean, at any of these guys in this range right here, Hunter Henry does have the most tight end 1 finishes outside of Zach Ertz. You know what I'm saying? Out of these guys here, Zach Ertz at this point in his career is a D player. I think the possibility of Hunter Henry going to C as well kind of evens things out. I do think Hunter Henry is on the line between C and D.
Yeah, we said that before. But, I mean, we'll put him C. Be my guess. I mean, he does kind of look the odd man out. But I just don't put much stock in Hunter Henry.
Sure. But that's – hold on.
Definitive chart? Anything else?
No, I actually kind of really like this chart.
Now, given we're 100%, this is not in order. The tiers aren't, at least not in my mind. I don't think this is the correct order, but definitely the tiers that we've laid out. Let us know if you disagree with us. Seriously, fry us up if you want to. If you hate that we have Kelce in A and not elite, let us know. If you think Trey McBride's way too early to put him in A, because recency bias, let us know. Let us know. But
deserves to be there.
But yeah, I love these tier shows so much. Can't wait to knock out the other positions.
I don't know how you want to do
a lot harder from here.
I don't know how you want to do wide receivers, big dog. God bless you.
We're gonna have to rapid fire those things at some point.
Jefferson, elite. Chase, elite. CD, elite.
AJ Brown, elite.
Amra, elite. Marvin Harrison, elite.
Yeah, it might be better to just already set a few wide receivers in their place to just kind of slowly touch on them before we start getting into the controversial ones.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, I personally like it. I knew D tier was going to get a lot of players there just because of you have these guys. But I mean, look at the youth movement in this dude. Look.
Right.
Obviously Andrew's older. LaPorta, under 25. Kincaid, under 25. Hockinson, 26. Freiermuth, 23. McBride, 22. Ferguson, 23. Kmet, 24. Pitts, under 25. You know what I mean? Look at all this right here. And then, like I said, 2024 class, sports, 2 tight ends. I'm huge on these 2 tight ends coming in. And then look at the unproven. Look at all the youth movement here. You have yet to see anything from these guys. K. Otten's shown flashes. Chig shown flashes like we talked about.
Right.
But there's plenty of time for them to move. Plenty.
Mm-hmm. I was going to
People,
say, we were just in a world not even 2 years ago where, like, if you didn't roster, like, the top 3, maybe 4, you didn't really want one. And now we're sitting in a world where, like, I'm comfortably owning 11, maybe 12 of these guys and being okay with whatever I got.
sure.
I feel like there's no longer this, like, immense pressure to go out there and get a good tight end when the was kind of balancing itself out. I'm glad to see the position growing.
Sure. So on that note, I'm going to end the screen here. Ryan, we've been live for about 56 minutes. Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, no. Thanks for being here. As usual, we love all the people that tune in. You're the reason why we do it, and just glad to have a platform. Shout out to Alex and Leo. I apologize if I seemed a little bit off tonight. I tore my back up. I'm in a lot of pain right now, so apologize if I seemed off. But yeah, glad to get on the show. Put some content out for you guys.
Yeah, feel better, man. What was I going to say? Saturday night.
Saturday night.
We got to start sitting for these guys. Biggest week of the year.
Oh yeah, biggest week of the year. Oh yeah. I guess it might be a little bit too late to plug the waiver wire. I wish we would have. We got to start doing this on Tuesdays so we can plug the waiver wire article because we wrote about just guys that can really pound it in for you for these fantasy playoffs and help you out there, as opposed to just a week in, week out basis.
Yeah, for sure. Biggest spot of the year, ladies and gentlemen. We are going into fantasy playoffs. At this point, it's win or go home. This is the biggest week, do or die. This is to get into the playoffs.
Yep. And not even playoffs, people that have already made it, seeding is also very important.
Sure.
Get that better seed. Season's not over yet. Keep grinding.
Sure. But on that note, I want to just thank our platform as well, RPO, Alex, Leo, Yards Per, everybody over on those 2 sites. We appreciate you guys. Again, sorry, we're getting close to holiday time. We got things that, we had to do as well. So sorry that we weren't present last week, but we are here. On that note, guys, we are going to wrap it up for the night, and we are out.